Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook process video. So this layout that I'm making today is actually going to be a fairly simple layout. This would be a great layout you could do if you had just scraps. You can see that I have a full-on, larger size piece of paper, but as we get going with the layout, you will notice that it would be super easy to do it with just scraps. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, though, however. I want to talk about what I'm doing now. So I am using the All-American, I think that's the name of it, the collection from Bella Boulevard that I used in a previous video here recently. And I don't have much of that collection left. I think I have one sticker sheet that is mostly an alphabet on it, and that is it. Now, I do have other die cuts, etc., that I can use, like metal dies. But I decided for this layout that I wanted to actually go back to this older trick that I've done. It's not really a trick, just technique. That's the word I'm thinking of. I've done this in the past, but it has been quite a few years. So if you are newer to my channel, this is a really good way and fun way, actually, to add a little bit of detail to your layout. So what I'm doing here, you can see my first big firework there. I'm using the Tacky When Dry Gel Medium. It's basically like a modeling paste that, hence the name Tacky When Dry, is tacky when it's dry. And I'm just adding some fireworks around the edges of my layout. So basically, when on the finished layout, it's going to be on the top left corner and the very bottom right corner. Now, looking at my layout now, I sort of wish that I would have added more, and I'm tempted to go back and add more. I don't know if I will or not. If I do, I'll let you guys know, but I am tempted to go back and add a few more places of these fireworks, and because they turned out to be absolutely gorgeous. There is a couple spots, and you are able to see it in the still shot photos at the end where the fireworks get a little messy. So my tricks, a couple things. One, I wish I would have planned where the fireworks were going to go a little bit better. I'm winging it at this point. The other thing is I wish I would have kind of wiped my stencil in between moving it, which is why I got a little bit messy of a couple of the fireworks. So, and I don't mean when I say wipe it down, I don't mean that I necessarily would have completely cleaned it off. I wish I would have taken a little bit of time to kind of wipe it, clear so that it didn't push through or like touch the page where it had gotten other stuff on it. So that is a little bit of a trick for this technique. If you were just using one stencil, it wouldn't matter as much. You could just do all that whole section, but because I was using two of them, there are a couple, but this fireworks, I keep wanting to call them snowflakes, by the way. So if I accidentally say snowflakes, I'm talking about the fireworks. Yeah, so I would just say maybe kind of wipe down, make sure your stencil is not really messy when moving it around your pages. So I will talk back about the fireworks here in just a minute. This is where I wanted to show you it would be a perfect layout for scraps because you technically wouldn't need that entire blue background or the striped paper here. Because when you get them all covered up, you can see there's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on both the top and bottom, and that's all you would need. You would just need a pattern paper. Here I'm using Bella Besties, the red heart side, and you just need that one strip to go across both your pages, or a single page if you wanted to make this a single page. And super easy to have that done with just scraps. I absolutely love these photos. These photos are of my two sons. We used to get all of our kids' 4th of July outfits. 4th of July in my family used to be kind of this whole big thing where we would get together, have a picnic and celebrate like 7 or 8 birthdays at a time. So 4th of July outfits for a while were actually, and with young kids, they can be pretty fun. So this is the photos. These are the photos. And I absolutely love the photo of my son. Give him his brabra. That's what he used to call him, brabra. giving them a kiss on the cheek because they both look actually happy. They're not, fake photos. So, anyways, back to the foil. So I was putting that section of the layout together to give my paste extra time to dry. I wanted it to be nice and dry. It really didn't take that long at all for this to dry, and it is nice and tacky. So I grabbed some foil. Now the foil I'm using is just some old foil. It's like for the foil quill or something like that. Never used my foil quill. Let me know below if you ended up buying the foil quill and then just never used it like me. I don't even know if I have it anymore because I think I finally was like, what am I ever going to do? It sat in a drawer. Actually, I might have it. Anyways, so this is foil that goes with this. I do want to buy some new foil. They have lots of more sparkly brands and all kinds of different foils now. But you can see it goes on really well. It does take a little bit of rubbing. I did try to use my bone folder, but it honestly I didn't want to have that much pressure on it. So what I did was first I used the red foil and I kind of went around the fireworks that I definitely wanted red. And now with the blue, I'm just kind of going over everything because I don't mind if a little bit of the blue mixes with some of the red ones. And I was kind of thinking, when fireworks go off in the sky, they are multiple colors a lot of the time, right? So it didn't really bother me if it mixed, but I wanted to make sure the majority of it was red, so it kind of had the red and blue effect. So here I'm doing the opposite paper. The other thing I will say that I wish I would have done is lined where the background papers were going to go. If you saw in the very beginning of this video, I just kind of picked up the papers and just ran my pencil around it in kind of just like a sporadic, it's going to be about here. So I wish I would have actually taken the time to put the papers down and do the pencil line where they were going to go, because some of this does get covered up. Some of it, I'm glad it got covered up. I don't know if you saw the other side, but by one of the fireworks, it was really messy. But for the rest of these little fireworks, some of them get covered up. Let's see. The big one doesn't show as much as I want it to on both layouts, but it actually works. It does work out really well. I think I just would have moved some a little bit more and maybe added a couple more. Like I said, I really like the way this layout turned out, so I kind of want to go back and add more fireworks around the page. But anyways, you can see how simple and easy that was to use. I just used a stencil. You can see in the light the shininess of it, and look how fun that looks across the two pages. If I were to add more, I would probably do the bottom on the left-hand page more towards the right, like the center of the double pages, and the top kind of same area where the two pages meet on the right-hand page. So I think that would give you like the diagonal bursting all around, but at this point, I probably won't change it. I don't want to mess up the layout at this point, but you can see it's a fairly simple layout, but those fireworks do just add a little bit of something here and there. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And like I said, again, it was super easy to use. The other thing that I thought I wanted to use, which I've been trying to pull out, you guys know I've been trying to pull out a lot of my supplies, my older supplies, and that includes peel-offs. And I actually used up one of the sizes on this full sheet. I was kind of bummed. I'm like, oh, I don't have that size anymore. I want to say it was the smallest size. I debated whether or not to actually use these, but I liked how the red of the peel-off really brought out the red of the fireworks. I thought about using blue too, but I didn't really have a blue that went with that darker blue. So I just stuck with the red, and I did do it along the top and bottom of the striped strips. And the other reason I thought about maybe not using the peel-offs is because of the rounded corners. But what I ended up doing, like I said, they are on the top and the bottom of the stripe strips. So I just used my little knife and cut it off where the blue paper ended, so it didn't have to worry about the rounded corners and all that. And now I am working on my title. So I really love this font that was on this sticker sheet for this collection. And I really wanted to have a really long title. And so nothing fancy for my title. It's just going to say ready for the 4th of July. The only part of my title that I really don't care for is the H in the word the, because it's really big next to this T, but I'm just going to go with it. I mean, all of the letters are, different, some are kind of a small capital, some are a large lowercase. So the whole font looks really funky as it is. But I got to use a lot of that font, and I was pretty happy about that. Another, item that I'm getting used up. I don't know if I show it in the video. I don't think I show all of it. I might show part of it. But one thing I know, because the letters are getting a little bit lost on the layout, I am going to go back. Right now, I'm just gently setting them down to see if I like the way it looks or not. But I am going to add foam under some of the words. So on the word ready, I added foam underneath the letters, and yeah, it was really annoying. I used the thin strips from scrapbook.com that come on the sheet of strips, and I even had to cut those. So I did not record all that because it did take a little while, but I love how it looks. So the word ready is popped up, not the word for and the. For the word fourth, the number 4 is popped up, but not the TH, and not the word of, but the word July is also popped up. And in person, it does make a pretty big impact. So taking that little bit of time to add the foam in underneath the letters really kind of made a pretty big difference. So I'm happy with the title and how it turned out. Like I said, I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but it really does make a big difference in person. The other thing I'm going to add, which is pretty much the main part of my clusters, are these really, really old, yet again, a really old item that I've had. I've had these in with this collection kit for quite a while, and I wished both the stars, the bigger stars, are blue with white stars, and I really wished I had a third one, but I wanted to add a third little star, but the only one I had was a blue with red stars, but it works. You don't really notice it in the end, but the shininess of those stars really picked up from the shininess of the foiling that I did. And the 2 bigger stars that are blue with white stars I placed them basically in the middle of the large firework. So now you can see on the layout how I didn't really pay attention to any of the fireworks or where the paper was going to go. So the fireworks that were on the left-hand side underneath that large firework all got covered up with paper. So like I said, if my suggestion for you, if you're going to do this, is to maybe plan a little bit better where the papers are going to go. So one, you don't waste a bunch of time adding a bunch of fireworks. I do like how all of the fireworks ended up on the right hand side. That's kind of what I was going for. So I think it's just the fact that the papers were a little bit higher, et cetera, et cetera. So this is pretty much the gist of the layout. I'm going to add a few word stickers around. I'm going to add my date. And that's about it. There was nothing else. Again, there's the sticker sheet. That's all I had. And I tried using a bunch of different stickers. Just wasn't working. Couldn't get, nothing looked right. There was really not anywhere to put anything. So I just, again, took a few word stickers and that was my layout. So, oh yeah, the last thing that I am going to do, and I used these border sticker peel-offs that are stars, the star border. I used these in the last video. I think they were silver that I used though. So I'm just taking out the center stars and I'm going to add some of those blue stars around in the clusters. So these also, again, because they are shiny, they bring in that blue color a little bit more and they just kind of pick up on the shininess from the foil. So that is my layout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. For not having very many embellishments on there, I think it makes a pretty big impact. These photos here at the end aren't the greatest, but you can kind of see what the foiling looks like. I couldn't really get the light to shine on them for these pictures, but the layout is, I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd love to know if this adding foiling to your layout is something that you would like to do as well. And I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.